Hi everyone, this is Triple T, and today I'm transforming FansToys Gaudi FT-32C, or Hook, as I like to call him. Now, you can do a lot of things at the same time, but I'm going to start with folding down the head, and that opens this up. It doesn't really matter. Just let that sit there. Push these together, like so. Prep the hands for being put away, of course. You put the thumb there, and then you close up the fist. Then you open up the bottom of... Well, you know all this if you have done this, well, masterpiece transformations before. Fold the hand in. See to this that this is aligned. Then close that up. And do the same thing on the other side. Now we come down to the feet, and this transformation is a bit strange. You have to do the feet differently. Get this out like that, fold that up and back, and you can scooch that in a bit for now. Untab this and just pull it up like that. On this side, with the big toe, you have a little thing you need to fold out. So you get a little hole here. Now, this is going to be felled out, like so. And that is going to be felled backwards, so you have that like that. And just what it did here, you're supposed to fold that up. And this is going into... I'm going to fold this down because it needs to be down anyway. This comes in here to those little niches. It doesn't really hold, in my opinion, but yeah. Rotate the roof, and then just press everything in. So it looks something like that. Then we come to the legs, and we're going to rotate the foot. And you can see where it fits, or like that, like a little niche there. Close this up again and leave this for now because we're going to do the other leg. I'm going to do this a bit quicker because, well, you know how to do this. Fold this back and out. Fold this piece out like that. Fold this wheel arch over to this side and tab it in. And then we're going to do the same thing with this leg. We're going to rotate everything inwards like that. And then we're going to tab that back in. I'm going to rotate this and extend the ab crunch to get this out. So we have that all ready to go. Now we're going to combine these. And you have a little hook tab here and then a tab there. And you need to get everything just right, because if you don't, you'll never get it in. But I did it the first time I tried now. That's nice. Come under here and just squeeze these together so everything is where it should be. You have a tab between these. Try to line that up. And there are two tabs here. And we need to rotate these gray pieces here so they actually line up with those. To do that, you need to scooch this in. It's scoochable. And then just tab them on like so. And this just came out, of course it did. I'm going to straighten the legs out. Make sure that the legs are straight and the ab crunch is not extended in any way. Like that. Okay, we're going to take these down because now we're going to attach the arms. And the arms are a bit tricky because you need to fold the purple hinge in here forward and in, and then use that tab in that port. So scooch that forward and in, then locate that port. Now we got that fairly correct. Fold this underneath here, and this is going to tab in to the underside of this little piece here, like that. At the same time, we have two little tabs that are going into the arm. So line those up and tab those in, and then just close this little section up, and we're really getting somewhere now. And of course, it's the same procedure as every year, James, on the other arm. Then we rotate this forward. I can actually put this down now. And we pull this forward like so, and that forward as well. So there are 2 points of, well, articulation, you could say. And in here, you have a little crane or hook, or, yeah, hook, of course. And you need to get that out, and it can be quite bothersome. Like that. And now he has this little hook. Fold this up and just hinge that down. And there you have Hook in his alt mode. Now we're going to get him into combine mode. And we start with the most annoying thing, and that is getting this little piece in there. And that was fairly easy. Just push that hook piece in first, and then just the rest goes in. But I struggle with that usually. Push that together, fold that down, hinge this down, and just do like that for now. Now we come to the difficult parts. We're going to untab the arms for a while, like so, because you need things, well, ready and able here. Fold this piece in, unfortunately, and then we're going to separate the legs. And remember, you have a little hook tab there, and you have a little pin as well, so you need to be mindful so you don't break anything. Oh. Yep. These can just be felled back to normal because we're not going to use them anymore. Now we come to these funny parts. First, we're going to get that up. I'm going to hold you closer to the camera so you can see what I'm doing. I took that out, and then I'm going to hinge this in. And that is a very, very stiff hinge. Then I'm going to open this up, push that in. No, wait, let's get this out first, like that. And this will come out and sit like that. Fold this down and close that up. Getting these out again is not fun. But what don't I do for you guys, right? Okay. Now we're going to fold these down again. These can just be flopping about up there. This leg, you're supposed to get this down. You are supposed to open this up, and this little thing inside, which I never can get a grip on. You can actually use a little indentation here if you want to. For some reason it doesn't want to play ball with me now, so I'm going to use a spudger. Like that. Just fold it out like that for now. And we are done with one leg. We're going to do the same thing on the other leg. So, same procedure as every year, James. Then we get them back together again, just by tabbing them. I'd say just, but like that. And these can tab together as well. Again, you have to scooch them a bit forward and back so they do align. This piece needs to come away because, and this is not in the manual, but this is apparently what you're supposed to do. Open that up, rotate this so you can just put your arm there, tab this back in, like so, and I don't know if it's supposed to just go down or not. It probably is, but I tend to like it fell down. Like this, and that on top. And we're going to just have that downwards in a minute when we get everything else sorted. Okay. Yup. This is going to be the arm behind the combined mode, so that is going to be just felled closely upwards later on. But yep. Okay, let's get over here, shall we? We loosen that up, and then we actually just fold him to pieces like this. And try not to break him. Close this up if you haven't, this piece. This is going all the way to the front like this. Before we go any further, we need to fold this down. So you have a little spot for the arm here, because we're going to, just like in alt mode, tab this arm back in there, tab this little piece in there. And when we get this little hook tab on, I'm going to have it like that for now, because, yeah. You have to get that hook tab on and then press that down. And that can be easier said than done. But now mine is actually down, and you can see it's a bit of a gap there. So, yeah. Now I'm going to press my arms, or his arms rather, back in and force it past some plastic here, because you have a tab on the bottom here. That's going into the arm, and these two go into that piece. So, yeah. And this piece goes up there. Hey. Now you can just push these little pins into here. They don't really stay there, but, well, that's what you're supposed to do. You can see here that I haven't folded these in correctly, so just tab them on together, just squeeze them, because this needs to be a circular thing for combined mode when you combine it with a long haul. So, also, I've heard. Okay. This piece just lies on top here, flopping about. You need to get a lot of things out of this chest, so move the head, that opens this up, and just fold everything out. This is a nuisance, getting everything back later on. Fold that out to the side like that, and fold this up. And you're actually basically done with this piece, because you don't need to do anything more with it right now, because we don't have long haul. Just push the head back in. And as I said before, this arm can just be fell downward like that, so you can actually, yeah, well, not really, but still. Okay, the head. Now we come to the head. And you need to get this out, and that is a... Ow. Yeah, it's out. Then we need to pop the whole piece off. And you can see the untransformed head there. Pull these up. And as you can see here, you need to scooch the head outwards. You can do it here if you want to. But you need to check that it's all the way out. There, it's all the way out there. Good. Then you fold this up like that and just push it down. Nothing to secure that in at all. And you open these sides up. Rotate the face out. Close this up. And the last thing you want to do is just close this back up. Like so. And here you have Hook in combined mode. Now we're going to transform him back to robot mode, and if you come from the alt mode, you can just imagine, or skipping the first few steps here, but it's basically the same. I'm going to untab that first, and then I'm going to unhook him like that. So he's a bit easier to work with. Open this up, because we're going to transform the head away. And you do that by opening these. I'm gonna turn it down a bit. Open these up, turn the head in, and just close that up, and start to fold that in. You need to have it that way, I think. But you also need to press it down, because as you can see, it's on a slider. And there it is. I hope. No? This is difficult. There it is. Good. You fold these pieces over like that. You push these down, this down, and that just tabs everything in right there. If you, like me, come from the combine mode, you need to rotate this up and have this scooched in a bit. No. This is going... Oh, this is not fun. You need to slide this in like that, because this little piece is going into that, and it's going in there by force if necessary. But be mindful to have the back piece up, because that is how it is supposed to be. And if you have difficulty getting that into place, you can actually pull this out a bit. Like that. So you can actually get this into its little groove up here. Then you can just push that back in. And remember to lock this pelvic region up with that little flappy flap there. Now, again, if you come from combine mode, you have to fold this in. And it can be a bit of a bother, but it is perfectly doable, like that. And before we do anything more, we should do the head, but I'm going to wait with that because I need those legs. I'm going to fold that out to the side. And again, with that hook tab and that little port. And I can see that I actually have some paint scrapage on that one, because it's grey and it's painted, and that's just, yeah. What we need to do now is one of the hardest or difficult things I've ever done on a transformer. And I need to get this out so I don't go mad. I need to get this little piece out. Before I used this, I was screaming at this bot, actually. Push that in, open that up, hinge the leg out. No one said it would be easy. Hinge it up and out and tab that back in and fold this straight and just down like so. Yep. The leg is gonna come all the way around like that. Fold these little wheel arches down. The gray piece here is going to tab onto them, as you can see here. Yep. And this little tab, this microscopic tab, is going into that. And that's going to secure the foot into place. And that was that leg done. But every leg, both legs are quite difficult, so I'm going to show you both of them. And again, if you come from combine mode, you need to turn this around to close this back up. And now the shit really hits the fan, because now I'm going to do this again. I'm going to be violent so I don't take up all your time. So there it is. Push that down. Have this out. Open this up. And again, with the hinging and the leg going up and the... Yep. Close that up. Close that up. Yep. Again, the leg needs to come all the way around. Like so. And let's give it some room. Fold this little cabin inwards and onto itself and in like that. So it's, well, a heel maybe? No, not really, but somewhat. Push this in push that in as well, so you have that on a slant. And again, you have that little tab that's going into that piece. You press that really hard and rotate everything to the correct position. And he's not done, but that's the lower part of the body all done, at least. Come to the arms. These are fairly simple, if you can get things out. Just rotate those hands out. Now, we're going to angle the shoulders backwards so you get that purple hinge out. And that is actually the arms done. We're almost done. First, see to it that this little piece holds this in place. Rotate it and bring the head a bit up so you can get a finger behind these side pieces like that and just push them out as far as you are able. I probably should push them more, but I don't have the strength for it. Rotate this down. Come to the head, and you're going to not push the head off like I do, but that seems to be the theme of this one. You can open the chest a bit so you can actually angle the head piece up, because now he's just looking at the wrong piece here, like that. And then we can close that up again. And when you have it like this, this is how you want things looking. And be mindful not to push on these because that can just break. Yeah. Now you have him here in robot unstable mode. Well, he's quite stable now. That's good. But I guess that's it for today. Thank you for watching. And as always, take care.